Is one of the distinguished nominees for the Latina Tech Entrepreneur Award in 2022. So please help me and give a very warm welcome to Laura Cancel, CEO and founder of NEDDIE, who is pushing forward against all odds.
To follow Justina, Jody, and Ginger, I'm freaking out a little bit. I don't have that high energy. I'm like, I have to bring it a little bit. So my speech to you guys is more about inspiring. I don't have like points to follow, and I loved all of your guys' presentation. I'm like, oh, I didn't do that. But I think that my story will resonate with each and one of you. Life circumstances took me on a path to becoming a tech entrepreneur, and that was not planned. I was thinking, what better words to describe my story than pushing forward against all odds? I love helping people, and I went through an experience of helplessness that I didn't want anyone to experience. So I built a tech company to help others. Not many people believed in me. From job to job to job, and I even moved from Puerto Rico to Los Angeles to pursue dreams that I had. I was lost for a long time. It wasn't until 2017 that I was working at Amazon when a hurricane Category 5 devastated Puerto Rico. At first, my entire family was there. I didn't know if they were safe, and it was a harrowing week. But after a week, I found out they were fine, but my island wasn't. More than 4,000 people died, directly and indirectly due to the hurricane. More than 250,000 families lost their homes. And people here in the US mainland were desperate sending help, but it wasn't reaching families. It wasn't reaching anyone because there was corruption surrounding donations, and donations were being halted at the ports. So I was in Seattle with a group of Puerto Ricans, and we were like, what can we do to be efficient and help people? Working at Amazon, of course, I had this idea of using Amazon wishlist to direct donations straight to the families. Instead of being halted at the ports, they couldn't do that because it would be purchases. I sat down with a group of Amazonians, Latinos at Amazon, and I will never forget that meeting. I was sitting down at this table with all these brilliant minds, and I tell them, what do you think if we make a wish list for the entire island? And there was an engineer that looked at me and said, do you work in logistics? I said, no. And he's like, you have no idea how any of this works. And people started walking out of the meeting. I felt defeated. And I could have just given up right then and there. But I couldn't. What if my idea worked? What if I could help people? So I went back home. I started drafting ideas on how this could work. I brainstormed with friends like, oh, how to do logistics over there. And by the end of the week, I recruited 13 volunteers in Seattle and 100 volunteers in Puerto Rico. And a week later, we launched a platform where we connected donors to wish lists for each town of the island. Donors would come into the platform, donate an item, and it would go directly to a distribution point where volunteers in Puerto Rico would give to families in need. After 2 months, 300 donors donated 20,000 items and impacted 4,000 families. Amazon heard my story, and they shared it at an all-hands staff, which was a great recognition, especially when some of the people that didn't believe in me were there. And you know, it would have been easy to give up, but that determination and that love I had for my island, it wouldn't allow me to do it. And then I learned my first lesson, that pushing forward against all odds, you will triumph if you have the right mindset and passion. After that, I started volunteering at the Amazon Disaster Relief Team. They do have a team for that. And I started volunteering there where I connected with nonprofits, and nonprofits told me, we're very frustrated, like we have to get funding, we lack the tools, and how can we continue helping people? So I started, again, drafting ideas on how to better use AWS tools to help nonprofits. I started trying to sell my idea to different teams at Amazon. And after a year, one of the managers came to me and said, Laura, your idea is big. It's its own company. I don't think Amazon is going to do that. I think it should be its own company. Like, just letting you know. I went to my mentor at Amazon and I told him what they said. And he said to me something that changed my life forever. He said, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I wouldn't want to be 5 years down the road and regret not trying. Bet on yourself. So after 3 months, I quit Amazon to build my company. To build a company that connects donors to nonprofits. And it wasn't easy because I have no tech background. And it's a tech company, so. But that hasn't stopped me before, right? I connected with a friend that's a developer. I pitched him my idea, and he was in. But after a few months, nothing was being built. And he had his hesitations, and we were stuck. So I contemplated, I was very nervous, and I was like, how can I do this without him? Like, he knows things that I don't know. But I have come all the way here. I bet on myself. I have to try. I have to. So I sat down with him and I told him that I needed to move forward. And he was fine with it, and we parted ways. And I learned there another lesson. And the lesson was, know when to back out. Sometimes we feel that the decisions that we make are set in stone, but they're not. Yes, sometimes some decisions have consequences, but never think that you can't change your mind. After that, I was jobless with this big idea, and I didn't know what to do. But I started working. And I started looking for female in tech, women in tech, that were out there that just graduated, that needed experience. And I started collaborating with them. And we formed our first all-female team. By the summer of 2020, we had a team of 20. And we started going towards building what is now NEDDIE. We will full throttle in summer 2020, and just imagine 2020, COVID, just think about it. So it was not only building a company in times of, that were difficult, but also I had a bigger challenge at home. I was 37 years old, having fertility issues, failed IVFs, and all of a sudden I was pregnant. And I was labeled high-risk pregnancy because of my age and my medical issues. And my husband was like, Laura, how can you build a company, lead a team of 20, and be pregnant and have a baby? I was like, oh, not again. This is it, again. But I told him, I've been searching all my life for what I love and what I'm good at. And I'm good at this. I thrive when I help people. And there's nothing more I want than my son and this company. And I said, I know it's gonna be tough, but let's work on this together. By the fall of 2020, we launched NEDDIE. And by the end of that year, we already had 30 nonprofits on our platform. A few years later, we have over 1,000 users on our platform, and we continue growing. We had no funding, I had no tech background, but we had pure passion and big ideas, and a lot of determination. Today, I want to share some points that along the way I have learned as a tech entrepreneur and things that have helped me. And I think they're key. They're key to not only having a technical skill, but they're key to your progress and your success in your career. And I have these cards because I don't want to forget what I'm gonna say. So let me start with this. I have this theory of engines and anchors. And I think I've heard of this before somewhere, and maybe I've modified it throughout the years, so don't quote me on it. But in life, you will have people that are engines. People that will push you to continue going forward, that will propel you to where you need to be. People that will drag you with them and say, nope, you continue going forward. And those are your engines in your life. Then you have people that are anchors, people that are stagnant, that hold you back. I have chosen engines in my life, people that have continued pushing me forward, and I have let go of anchors. Surround yourself with engines, not anchors. Who here has suffered imposter syndrome? I am suffering it right now, you know. I'm here talking to all of you today, and with my background, I shouldn't be, right? But I'm here to tell you that it is not the external factors that define you, it's who you are and who you are determined to be. Can imposter syndrome be something positive? I was talking to a CEO once, and he told me, you know, the imposter syndrome gets a bad rep, and it shouldn't. He thinks that imposter syndrome keeps you grounded. Sometimes when we're very good at something, we can get overly confident and maybe lose a little bit of our humbleness. I like expanding a little bit on that and saying that the imposter syndrome sometimes pushes you to be better at what you're doing. So try to use the imposter syndrome sometimes to your advantage. But beware, the imposter syndrome can also turn into labeling yourself. Can I be a CEO when I'm a female, Latina, a mom with no tech background? Those labels can make me feel little. But if instead of using those labels to identify myself, and I use them to propel me, it would be much better. How amazing it is that I'm a minority, that I had the chance to become a mom, that as a tech entrepreneur, I have learned about full stack development, UX, UI design, marketing, sales, and that I'm truly doing what I love. That's how I use it. As you continue growing in your career, you will face many challenges. Pregnancies, illnesses, family members needing you, recessions, layoffs, right? It's up to you if you use those things to hold you back or to propel you forward. I'm here and I see all of you, and what I see is that here in this room, you will be building the next big thing in the future, because you are the future in tech, just like Jody said. We need more female in tech. We need more Latinas in tech. We need more females leading businesses. And as you continue going all the way to the top, bring your fellow Latinas with you. Yes. I'll leave you with this question. Where do you see yourself in 1 year? Bet on yourself. Don't be like me and wait for a hurricane. And when you make it, come out and reach out to me so we'll celebrate together. Thank you.